my Wazzer 10 GP, 7.62 by 39 millimeter, based roughly on the AKM. About the biggest difference between a proper AKM copy and this is the lack of dimples above the magazine. Those are there to prevent it from wobbling. When these were imported, they were built for 10-round magazines that were single stack. To accommodate a proper magazine, some plates were spot welded on the interior to take the place of the dimples. Now, this rifle presently has the Magpul Zhukov S stock on it, and I will be replacing that for fall and winter with this East German pebble grain stock. Let's see if I can get that date in here. May of 1971. This stock was a virgin stock. It had not been installed on a rifle. I kind of made a hash of it. There's a little bit of a gap in the seating of it, but at the end of the day, that doesn't really affect it. And it does work, so I'm not going to cry about it. Though I do have a spare. This is 51-year-old plastic, after all. Now, okay, we have it says CRV3, whatever the hell that means. Chrome vanadium 3, I suppose. An appropriate hex bit. Loosen that. Loosen that. And that'll get you started. Now, let me pull that off there. Close the stock. And inside, there's a third, let's see if I can get that in there, a third hex nut, which we loosen. There's a little plate under this one. In this model, this version of the Zhukov. This is an older one, I believe. I think it's the second kind that went out. There we go. Drop that. And unscrew this one. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, this one has the little washer. Watch. YouTube will strike it for me killing that mosquito. And out comes this. Now, it's important you keep up with your damn screws. So I take this little M-lock eyelet plate. Install that. It's best to use a magnetic screwdriver too. It just saves a lot of pain in the ass. There we go. There we go. And it's in there enough. Okay. Now, that brings us to the next portion. Let me just move my bolt carrier, recoil spring, and dust cover. Let's see. Now, this uses the standard stock screws. To install. In this case, these, I don't remember which stock for this rifle these even came with. just use a, some of them are flat tips, some of them are hex. Most that I've encountered are flat tips. This is a Phillips head. If you're wondering why a lot of this shit has some rust on it, it's South Carolina in the summer. Some parts of this state, this time of year, it's like Vietnam without the charm. Alright, tap that in there. You get your screws started straight, if possible. Well, I hope this is all still in the shot. Okay, those look, oh, that one's a little bit off. We'll work on that one here in a second. That could have been unfortunate. Get it lined up. Maybe get one of them. These have a blued butt plate on them, and I know this one has some rust on it, but it'll be fine. It's a consequence of use. Okay. See if we can find the sweet spot and get that one to go in properly. Like I said, this is my first attempt at installing a fresh stock that had never been on a rifle. You use this front one if there's any kind of gap or other issue to sort of cinch it up. It'll pull it tight into the receiver. Fitting was kind of a pain in the ass. I mean, I'm basically sitting there with 2 or 3 kinds of sandpaper on a block. Should have used the ratchet one for this. Okay, we just put a little oil back here. This next bit is where copious use of paracord comes in handy. The Germans opted to use a similar sling to what the Chinese would use when they copied the AK. Theirs not being an exactly what you'd call a licensed copy. The Germans was, of course, the idea was that they would produce some for themselves and for use within the Soviet Union. That, I don't think the Soviets understood the commercial nature of German production. So the Germans were happy to sell those suckers to everybody. Chances are, if you see one out in the wild, say Africa, parts of the Middle East, what have you, that isn't Chinese, it's East German, more than likely. Though the Yugoslav stuff is definitely there. Alright, let's just get that little swivel off of there. Remove that paracord. Pop that in there. That's done. These swivels are too small for a standard sling. You quit that, cat. Take our little loop of paracord. You quit that too. Goofy thing. Here, play with the screwdriver. I don't need it right now. Play with that one. Alright. You double it up like that. Right. through this loop. Come on now. Right there. Okay? So you get this. Now the fun part. Okay. What you want to do is take the buckle end and run it through. Now you notice the raw side will be to the inside when you bring this up. Okay? You bring your keepers over, you put it back through the keepers. Sometimes you can wait to do this until the whole thing is assembled, but I prefer to just get it done. There we go. Nice and tidy. Pull it. Bring your sling up to here. Turn that. Angle it through till it won't let you anymore, and then let it just sort of squeeze itself through. Sometimes you just got to cram that D in there, and there we go. Come here, repeat the process. What you end up with, need my keepers twisted together. Come up here to this piece of paracord. It does keep the noise down when you're moving with it. To not have, ooh, that's getting a little threadbare. I have to replace that soon. Put both pieces through and clip. Now you have your sling back on. There we go. That's it. Thought I'd done it wrong. And there we have it. Now, our bolt carrier, our gas piston. There. Some people like these, some people don't. I have been shooting this gun steady for 18 years. It was starting to mark that up before I changed the recoil spring, so I went ahead and put that on there. They do wear out over time, so be attentive. Alright. Function check. All good. Safety up. Mag in. And there's the rifle. Reassembled, ready to rock and roll. Plain Jane Classic. A good bit lighter, and that extra weight can go into an optic or what have you. It's a fine weapon, but yeah, there you go. Nice, simple. This does not have the buttstock compartment for the cleaning kit. But we have a set of East German furniture, the plastic upper handguard, buttstock, which are made of about the same plastic. This, which it's the grippiest of the standard AK grips that I've encountered. I like it. I actually like it better than the Yugoslav ones. And the backlight. It sounds like I'm trying to hawk something up. The backlight. Lower handguard, which does a remarkable job keeping heat off your hands, by the way. Of course, we have our cleaning rod. All in all, it's a great system. This is going to be super light to tote around. It'll be a lot easier. And, you know, with cold weather coming up, anything that will give you weight to put into your clothing, especially if you're like me and do not handle cold weather very well, is a blessing. But yeah, I hope I caught that all correctly. I'm about to watch it and probably piss myself off. Be seeing you.